to help evacuate embassy staff, and then the Canadians and British following suit.
That's very clear that they come here to evacuate their staff, their embassy people. I'm not sure if that is helping with the situation. I think what we need immediately right now is ceasefire, is an emergency meeting at the UN Security Council, is an understanding with regional countries that there has to be a political compromise as soon as possible in a few days. And that should include compromise on the Afghan government side, on the Taliban side, more importantly, who are seeming to be not very welcoming, as well as, of course, pressure put on countries like Pakistan.
What does Pakistan exactly have to do with it, your understanding?
I think Pakistan had a lot of leverage that it could use over the past few years, as we were discussing with the Taliban, a political solution to the crisis. I think Pakistanis, they claim that they have done enough, but they said that under no circumstances they can go after the Taliban bases inside Pakistan militarily. So if you rule out your most important option or leverage, then that means you're not doing enough. So I think that opportunity is lost. I think what can be done is that for the Afghan government and the Taliban, with mediation of the UN and the US, to see if they can reach some sort of a reduction in violence or ceasefire immediately. As you said, so many civilian casualties, so many destructions, so many Afghans leaving. That has to be stopped in order to prevent collapse of the country. It's not just Taliban taking over Afghanistan from the Afghan government. I think it's about unrolling all of the achievements we have made in the past 20 years. With Taliban taking over Kabul, if that happens, we don't know if media channels are going to be there. All TV stations and radio stations and newspapers have shut down their operation in places that Taliban have taken control, including Kandahar, including Herat yesterday. So we know what Taliban's takeover is bringing with itself to the rest of the country.
Have shut down or have been shut down?
They have been shut down. Well, since yesterday, I think they started seizing their operation, and media staff have not showed up at work.
So in the last weeks, you have the bombing outside the defense minister's house in Kabul. You have the killing of the spokesperson for the president of Afghanistan, someone you must have been familiar with since you're a journalist, and he's the spokesperson. How are you preparing in Kabul as you talk about the shutting down of news organizations? And what do you think is the timeline for Kabul now? The U.S. government was saying 1 to 3 months. Some are now saying under a month.
Well, I hope that we're not going to come to that option. I mean, that's my hope, and I hope that we don't have to be able. We're not forced to stop our operation, and journalists should be able to continue their work, not just in Kabul but in the provinces. So I can't really put a time on when Kabul will fall. But I think the possibility is there, especially after the collapse of Kandahar and Herat yesterday.
Nearly 250,000 people have been internally displaced since May alone. On Wednesday, internally displaced Afghans set up makeshift